We zitten backstage vlak voor het moment dat de mannen van Keane het podium opmoeten. Richard en Tom.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
We're fine and welcome in Emmen, the Netherlands, and welcome back after, what was it, 6 years?
Yeah. Basically 6 years away.
Yeah, we played our first show in 6 years in Denmark last night. We were a little bit anxious before we went on, but actually it was great. There was so many. It was really reassuring because there were lots of people who seemed to still know the words.
Yeah, it was amazing. There were so many people singing along, which is, I think, something we've just learnt to sort of expect almost from our crowds, but it's brilliant. After so long, they still know the words.
To me, it was a sudden comeback. Where have you been? Was it a classic Blues Brothers moment? We gotta get a band back together.
It was a bit of a surprise to us, you know. Even as it was happening, I think we couldn't quite believe we were doing it because it'd been such a long time. But I think we were brought back together by our friendship and everything that we've been through over the years together. But I think actually most of all it was the songs. Tim had written a set of songs about his marriage breaking down, and he'd obviously been through a really tough time. And I guess as a group, particularly me, I'd been doing my solo thing, and we've been quite kind of disparate and apart from each other, certainly compared to the way we used to be. But I think we were drawn back to this quite sort of sad but beautiful energy that was coming from these songs, it took us all by surprise, but we ended up making a record, and we're very proud of it.
Is it the classic older and wiser story?
I wouldn't claim to be any wiser, but I think we definitely look older. I think so. It's a record that we couldn't have made a few years ago because we hadn't lived through, the past few years, and we have been through some dark times, and I think you gain, if not wisdom, you certainly gain perspective. And this record documents a very dark period, but also coming through that to a certain extent. It's not completely bleak. There are some sort of little glimmers of hope. In fact, we're playing one of the most sort of hopeful songs on the record tonight for the first time. We've never played it to anyone before, so we're debuting that at the festival tonight.
Cause and Effect is the title of the new album. Is it classic Keane sound? Is it a whole new area?
I mean, it's hard to kind of do something that completely breaks the mold of what you do because you that's part of your DNA musically. But we definitely we've been pushed much more than I think we ever were in the past. We had a producer called David Coston who's very determined, quite stubborn, knows what he wants. And couple that with a band who are very determined and very stubborn and know what they want, and actually what it created was this kind of great. Well, it made for great creativity. I think it made us push ourselves and fight for everything that ended up on the record. And I honestly think it's by far and away the best sounding Keane record that there's ever been. Whether it's the best one of them all, people will have to judge for themselves.
I think with Keane, you're always going to have Tom's amazing vocals and very sort of strong and recognisable voice, and Tim writes lovely, beautiful melodies, and that combination actually gives you quite a lot of freedom to mess around with what's underneath it. So we had a lot of fun.
It's a new chapter in the Keane story.
It is.
It is. Yeah. And it's nice. It sort of feels a bit open-ended. Like we've committed to doing this record and touring and seeing how it goes and seeing how we feel about things, without kind of, I think when you're younger, you're just driven by a sense of ambition. You're always
next?
you're always looking forwards, and you don't very often sort of stop and smell the roses. And I kind of think another good thing about getting older is you learn how to stop and go. Like look out at a crowd and go, holy shit, this is really amazing. This is a really beautiful experience, and I hope we do more of that when we're out on the road this time.
Looking forward to the show?
Very much, yeah, it should be fun. It's great atmosphere. I just watched a bit of Little Stevie out there. It was amazing. Great atmosphere.
Well, it's good to have you back, and thanks for talking to us.
Pleasure. Thanks for the time.
Cheers.